G Panda Boo.
Yes, people, welcome back. I am your host for today, Verbz, and you're in tune to the Triggered Thoughts podcast, the podcast that's designed to trigger your thoughts. Now, I'm here with my other host, and he goes by the name of
Geniusdan.
My God! Yes, welcome, Mr. Genius. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good, you know.
Yeah, you had a good week, man. And so on.
Very challenging week.
Yeah, what's been going on for you, man?
Oh, man, Vodafone.
You saying you're having problems with the line?
Voda crap.
My God! It's all right. Just for the record, you are allowed to swear on the podcast, yeah, mate?
Yeah, man. Not even gonna talk about it, man. Leave that for another time, man. That's just,
okay. So the big question is, have you finally ended up with the result that you needed?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's good then. All right, let's get back on topic. So, listeners, we're glad you're all here. Yeah, whether it's a few of you or whether it's many of you, every fucking listener counts. Yeah. So, without further ado, we're gonna dive right into the topic. So the topic for today is going to be the controversial topic of knife crime. What can we say, eh?
Yeah, it's very, very scary times.
I definitely agree with what you're saying there, mate. Let me break it down for you listeners briefly, and I'm going to pass the baton to my other host, Genius. Well, you know, within the last few weeks, I would definitely say that there's been an array of knife crime incidents that have made the press, made the news in the UK. I think the biggest one recently was the young schoolgirl that was unfortunately stabbed in the Croydon area. Even me having to, you know, discuss this now on our podcast kind of sends shivers through my spine, man. Like, my God! It's a very uncomfortable topic because, you know, many of us have children, and I'm sure the listeners will have children too. And I think that situation with that young lady in Croydon really touches a nerve.
Yeah, definitely.
So before I move on to what I was basically trying to break down, I just want to say a big heartfelt rest in peace to that young lady, and my sincerest condolences to her family, to her friends, to her associates, and anybody that may have known her and supported her, and anybody that may have been affected by her death.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope the family remains strong in this very, very challenging time, because that made news. So I can only imagine the devastation that must be running through that family, you know. But I hope they manage to find some inner strength, some guidance, some positive energy that keeps them together and allows them to be able to grieve and heal eventually throughout this process. It's not going to be easy, but I just hope they get past it and are able to honor their family member's name, you know, in ways where it allows them to heal and feel a little bit more positive.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So there's been like an array of knife crime going on in the UK. You know, following this young lady, there was another young man who was murdered in the Brixton area. Not long ago, I saw one in Hounslow. Don't know how old this gentleman is because I haven't looked into it yet, but it popped up on my feed on my phone. Yeah. There's quite a few of these things going on. It's been going on for a long time. I remember, you know, a few years back, they used to do the yearly count of how many young people lost their lives to knife crime. Do you remember that, Genius?
Yeah, I do remember that. That was a while back, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't think it's ever slowed down. I don't think it's ever stopped. But I think the media sort of took their eye off the ball um, during recent times, and I think that's probably gone down to where we've had the big CVID and all that kind of
Mm,
stuff. Things took over, and we heard less about knife crime throughout that time.
yeah, it's true.
Now we've kind of gone past that, although that could be coming back again, but that's another subject matter.
Mm,
This seems to have hit the media again. I think the media tend to pick and choose when they shine their light on it from when they don't.
yeah, definitely. An agenda, innit?
Yeah, but this is it. You know what I mean? An agenda. Some people would call it a distraction. I won't necessarily call this situation a distraction because this is actually people losing their lives.
Mm,
You
that's
know,
correct.
yeah, and life is precious. And what I get to kind of understand, even though I'm sitting there saying that life is precious, there's a lot of young people out here that behave like they don't value life or even value their own life. My God, my God. And I
Mm,
find that quite mind-boggling as to how they've been so desensitized. Obviously, we know why. Um, you know, things like the music, the things they see on the television, the things they see on their handsets that they have on them 24/7 has just
yeah.
very rapidly allowed them to just not have any emotion or empathy for violent things that they're seeing, content that they're seeing, and they're carrying out things out there in the street like it's a music video.
Mm,
And, and I think there's a lot of misdirection from parents too. I think they're missing the fact that their children are watching these things and it's conditioning them. You
mm,
know, you can't be sitting there thinking, not my child in these scenarios. You have to sit down there and think, you know what, there's a possibility that it might just be my child.
yeah, that's true, you know.
And before they get there, rather than me sit back and be complacent and allow this shitty course of nature to take its course and condition my child where it will be my child, let me step in and provide some early intervention and make sure that it's not my child.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are giving it a miss and a lot of children are slipping through the net. And these are the tragic outcomes that we're getting when we turn on our TV sets or we look at our phone feeds. We're seeing young people's bodies dropping.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, what's your take on this unfortunate topic that we're having to speak about, Mr. Genius
There's
Dan?
a lot of, to be honest, been going on for a while now. There's no
I agree.
resolution. There's no urgency. Government have their priorities wrong, but then again, what can we really expect them to do? You know, because if something like this was of the utmost importance, it would have been resolved already. And the simple fact that it isn't just tells you that there's no urgency with it. They generally don't care. They genuinely don't care because years later, years in, this is still a problem. I mean, I remember like what are we 20? This has been going on way past even before 2019. So
Hmm.
parents have been crying out. Even I watched a video clip of a mother. She was a pastor actually. Her son died of knife crime, and she was crying out. She said, what do we need to do? Go down to the parliament. We're losing our children. What do we need to do to get your help? So like
Is this the same lady that was present with the girl that got stabbed in Croydon as well?
I don't know if you saw that. I put it up on the Instagram.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
it was the same
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was terrible, man. She goes, "We losing our kids, man. Like, you got to do something." But it's past that now. And I was deep in thought regarding this situation, and this is the
Mm,
conclusion that I've come to. Yeah, parents, whether your children live at home or not, you have to ask your children, whether they're young or old, ask them about the association that they keep, ask them about the people that they hang around with, and you need to make them aware that the fact that people are dying, that they need to be very careful because you have a lot of these young men. They're in videos. They might not necessarily be rapping, but someone's doing the rapping, and the person that's doing the rapping is calling out people and disrespecting certain blocks. And the problem that you've got in that now is that people recognize faces, and even as much you might be masked up or bellied up, sometimes people recognize eyes. The minute you are the minute you are seen in a video, you are automatically classed as part of that camp. Whether you're actively putting in work, which I don't like that phrase. Whether you're actively putting in work, as they say on the roads, whether you're standing stagnant in a video, the minute you are seen in a video, seen hanging around with a group of people on the bus in the area, it doesn't matter. You are automatically what's the saying? Cause guilty by association.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. The same way, like if you're with a group of friends and the police stop you, or your friend was doing something negative, you get pulled in as well. And this is why it's so important that we are very conscious on the kind of company that we keep, because the wrong association could cost you your life. It's not a joke. I've got
Most
children
definitely.
myself, this what I mean. And when I see these things going on, because it's not my child, it's a thing where I don't put myself in a position where, I don't care. No, I do. My heart goes out to those parents because I'm a parent myself. And the same way that I would want justice for my children, or, we need to, what's the saying? Prevention's better than cure. So we need to look at other means. We need to look at other means and ways of getting to the bottom of this. And, shout out to 95 Crip. He said something very interesting.
Yeah, man, big up 95 Crip, man.
And it was
putting in work.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. He turned around and said, you know what, we need to start calling out, if we know that certain people are doing stuff in the neighborhood, we need to call them out. And this is the problem. You see, the situation that happened with the woman in Peckham, the unity, I like that. But then we need to have that same energy now when it comes to our own that are chefing up the place, or, knifing up the place. Because the thing is, 9 times out of 10, someone knows someone that did that atrocity. But this cause of the streets, you can't talk. People know who the murderer is, but they're not saying anything. They're either scared to say something, or they are committed to the street codes. So
but this can I cut you out for a second? But this also boils down to what you're saying there, yeah. It boils down to the poor relationship that the police have with the community as well, because like we've discussed in other episodes, which I'm not sure that some of our listeners would have heard, but I'll go over it again. The police tend to bring in people for information, and when they bring in people for information, they get that information. They don't protect the people that provide the information. And they actually go back sometimes to the person that's the perpetrator and let them know, I've got this person from your area that's giving me information, so you might want to confess, or this and that, and it just breaks the whole thing down. Do you know what I mean? And when the police do things like that and don't protect certain people that do want to have an input in making change to stop certain violent activities from going on, they're part of the problem. Why the community doesn't speak to them. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody wants to speak to the police, and I'm not pushing everybody that wants to speak to the police, but at the end of the day, there are some people out there that would want to speak to the police, especially if the person that is the victim is their family.
It's true.
So that's why you will get people not speaking sometimes. But also, let's not beat around the bush. There is a high level of ignorance that's involved in that too. Some people will look at that situation and think it's not my family member, it's not my friend, and they don't care. But that's part of the whole desensitizing process, where a lot of young people are watching videos of people being stabbed, or they're making music videos and singing about this person that got chinged, or this person that got put in a spliff, For listeners that don't know what putting a spliff means, it means when somebody's been killed and they're basically smoking their ashes. Can you imagine?
But this is, you know what's really crazy? They're taking this to American mentality. That's what all them Chicago lot do. This, you see, I said this to someone the other day. We become, not even the other day, I've said it many times. We become Americanized, man. It's ridiculous.
You know, that's England for you. It copies what America does, isn't it?
It's
You
ridiculous.
know, then even the drill thing is Chicago based. You get what I'm saying? And we're doing it here, you know. And I'm not against young people having the talent to jump on a microphone and put lyrics on a beat that makes people dance and makes them successful and lines up the artist's pockets and so on. I'm not against that, but you know, to me, hip hop ain't really about that. Hip hop is about talking about what you see in your area, what you've seen, what you've experienced. It's not about glamorizing violence and glamorizing what you live around, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
true.
you somewhat become hardened to what you live around and what you see, but it's
Mm.
not about glamorizing it. It's about showing people that, look, you might not be from the same type of area as me, and you've got opportunities on your doorstep, but I live in this area where there's no opportunities, and this is the type of stuff I see every day. It's
Mm.
about sharing knowledge to people and letting them know that you're living a great life, but I'm over here living a shit life. So I'm just sharing that story with you so you're aware that there's an opposite to what you're going through.
Mm. Well said. Well said. Well
You
said.
know,
Yeah.
not glamorizing that you came out with a Rambo knife and pushed it in someone's chest and then they died and you smoked them
Mm.
in a spliff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. So police are part of this problem. Let's just say it straight. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I also think if I can, I don't know if you finished saying what you're saying, Genius, because I don't want to take over your
No, no,
parade and
no,
that.
no, go.
Yeah. I also think, that a lot of adults that support young people from very young all the way up, especially in this modern time, have allowed young people to avoid taking accountability. My God!
Definitely.
Now, when I say that, yeah, you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So now, when I say that, like I've worked in various different environments supporting young people, whether it's schools, youth centers, um, probation, those kind of places, and I've seen where young people do things and they make poor decisions. And when they make these poor decisions, staff members of all capacities try to call that young person and say, all right, let's have a conversation about what happened. Or they ask them, oh, what happened?
Mm.
And because the young person that is the perpetrator of the situation doesn't want to revisit what happened, doesn't want to be told that what they done was wrong, what tends to happen nowadays in modern society with young people is they tend to chuck a strop. They tend to
Mm.
get frustrated. Oh, fucking hell, man. This, that, and the other. Fucking leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. Fuck off. Rah, rah, rah. And then what happens is all of the adults start tippy-toeing around them, eggshells, which I've spoken about in the previous episode, which we even audio clipped. Yeah.
Mm.
Start
Yep.
eggshelling around them and they start considering young people's feelings. When
Mm.
you consider young people's feelings too much, rather than consider the poor behavior that they've made, and you don't hold them accountable, you don't allow them to sit down. All right, if a young person's frustrated, you're supposed to say, okay, I know you seem frustrated right now, you don't want to speak about it. But you know what? I'm going to give you 5, 10 minutes, and I'm going to come back to your classroom. I'm going to call you, and then we'll have a discussion. But in those 5, 10 minutes, I need you to calm down, and we're going to address what happens. Otherwise, there's consequence A or there's consequence B.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your choice. When you give those options to a young person, they will more than likely come and talk to you. If they don't, then you hit them with your heaviest consequence because this is life. When kids are in school, you're supposed to be teaching them about education firstly, yes. but you're supposed to also be preparing them for life. So
Yeah.
when they don't want to address the poor decisions that they've made, yeah, you hit them with your heaviest consequence. Because what happens is, if you keep tippy toeing around them and you dance around excluding them, so you keep them in school, they cause more problems.
Mm.
Yeah. What happens is they go home, they cause more problems. Then their parents can't deal with them because of how social services and all those agencies have got parents sort of on the back foot. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do. I don't know how to manage them. Yeah.
Yeah.
The child then ends up going out into society with that same concept of I can chuck a strop and I don't have to take accountability for my actions because everyone's going to tippy toe around me when I'm
Very
frustrated.
true.
It becomes a habitual behavior to
Mm.
escape a certain situation. Just like when we was younger, genius, I'll give you an example. If you done something wrong in your house, you made a poor decision, you broke something, or you didn't do what your parent asked you and they came back and realized you hadn't done it and they had a go at you, when you use the word sorry, did you do it again?
No, I tried not to. Tried not to.
Actively,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Mm.
Yeah. What do you think about these kids now? And do you think they carry the same concept?
No, they don't have no respect, man. Half of these kids are beating at their parents, man.
But I'm saying, like, if they say sorry to their parent or to a teacher, it's the way they say sorry is the attitude
Yeah,
sorry first and
definitely. Yeah,
foremost most of the time.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even your own children, if you look at it, or when they say sorry, they don't understand the depths of
Yeah,
sorry.
you're right.
Sorry for them is I'm going to get out of this situation that I'm in now so I can continue to have what I want to have, but I'm going to do the same thing the next time. And then you end up with these children saying sorry 100 times for the same thing you pulled them up about.
Mm.
When we was young, that weren't happening because these kids are spoilt. They still get what they want. That's why they don't understand the concept of sorry, which is why they don't understand about taking accountability. If you don't understand how to say sorry and actively change your behavior, you're not going to take accountability. And this is where we are right now.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when I sit back and I think of the young lady, I'm not going to go too deep into details because of her family and they could be listening or they might hear a clip or whatever. No? And out of full respect for them, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I think of a person standing outside, rush hour, loads of people going to work, you lose your cool over something that you wanted to happen, but it didn't happen. You can see all these people looking at you. You can see all these people actively around walking past you, and you still decide to take out your weapon and inflict damage on somebody else in front of them, knowing that all those eyes that have seen you, you stand no chance of avoiding the consequences of the law, and you can't find something in yourself to activate common sense and not do it.
Mm.
You've done it. Now you're facing a life sentence. You have to ask yourself, how did a young person get to that stage if they were shown by their parents how to take accountability?
Very, very true. Yep, true words, man. True words.
You understand that?
Yeah. Yeah,
If
makes
you
sense.
taught how to take accountability, some common sense even this time would have hit you and said, yo, this situation is a bit mad. I'm vexed. I'm angry right now. I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm not justifying the choice of even thinking about pulling out a knife and doing what you're doing. But something would have come over you and said, spiritually, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
The youths now have no common sense because they've been allowed to tiptoe and sidestep around situations where they've made poor choices. So, from what I see with a lot of these young people, they might be older, they might be 16, 17, 18, and you would think that they're capable of being somewhat independent. But there's a lot of situations where they just haven't got the ability to be able to navigate their way through life correctly, bruv.
Yeah.
And us as parents, us as adults, us as support workers, us as mentors need to stop giving a fuck about young people's feelings and start holding these children accountable, bruv.
Yeah, I agree.
You understand?
Mm.
It is very important that these young people, whether it's your child at home, whether it's the you out on the street, whether it's the child in school, they need to be held accountable. Why did you do that? I don't want to talk. I'm vexed. You can be vexed a little more. I'll give you 5-10 minutes to breathe off. I'll walk with you in the playground and you catch fresh air so you can cool off, but we're going to revisit the conversation. If you don't, I'm excluding you for a number of how many days.
Yeah.
If you can't come to me and show me some sort of sincerity in your apology or some sort of sincerity in you taking accountability for this situation, you will not be coming back to school. You will not be coming back to the youth center, because if you can't take accountability, you might be that might come in with a Rambo knife, stab somebody, and when I'm trying to talk to you about why you did it or whatever not, you're looking at me with a blank face like I'm being unrealistic and I'm being too harsh.
You said it.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what we're faced with today. This is what we're faced with. You know, and you know, I hear a lot of people talking about things like, oh, when they see news like this happening, like the girl in Croydon or the guy in Brixton, or single parent family and blah, 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 and whatever not. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Single parent families, you will stand more chance. It's statistically proven that single parent families, if they have children, their children could more than likely end up in situations with crime and prison and drug use and so on and so forth. But make no mistake, there's also 2-parent families that go through this shit too. Do you get what I'm saying? But what I will say in terms of the single parent family, rather than condemn them, yeah, this is for you lot. Single parents, especially single mothers, if you have sons, yeah, I feel that what you got to start doing is taking accountability, rather than leave it until your child goes down the wrong path and it's too deep for you to correct. Be realistic with yourself. Look at it like I'm a single parent. I live in an area that might be challenging. You know what I mean? Face adversity. Might be a bit of an impoverished area. The dynamics of where I live and the dynamics of me as a single mum raising a boy, you're even a girl, it's going to be challenging. I need to be on top of this. Let me get them in activities from young so they're not hanging around on the estate.
Yeah, it's a common thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me get them in a situation where if they got friends on the estate that they like and they check for, they go to their friend's house and they're in the friend's house in the garden if it's sunny, or the friend comes to my house in the garden if it's sunny, or me and that friend's parents meet up and we take them to the park somewhere, but they're not just sitting on the estate.
Yeah, I like that. That's true.
You understand? Be realistic with yourself. If you're leaving your kids out on the estate in certain areas, you need to understand that they are children and they are vulnerable. There is older guys that will exploit your children in a split second. My God!
Yeah, facts.
They will have your children distributing parcels. My God! Yeah. They will have your children carrying weapons for them and hiding weapons for them. My God! Yep. Don't look at it and say, not my child. Yes, your child. So before it happens, take action. Be real. You, single mother, might have a brother or brothers or cousins or uncles. Rein them in and help them to raise your son. Send them away every so often. You know what? I might live in South London in Brixton. I'm a single mum. Got my child there. 6-week holidays. Guess what? 2 weeks of them 6-week holidays, he's going to stay with his uncle in Tottenham. Where he's going to learn how to be a man. His uncle's going to have him around him and he's going to show him certain things and speak to him about life and skills and avoiding this and making him aware of this and that. He's going to see things from a proper man's perspective. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, you have to organize and arrange these things to make your child learn. Do you get me? Also, don't just put things in your child's lap. If your child wants a tracksuit, make him work in the house for it. Wash the dishes for a month. I'll get you a tracksuit.
Keep him independent.
Yeah. You'll find that they'll be so enthusiastic. They'll come to you and they'll be like, "Mom, you know what? I want to get a new tracksuit. Do you mind if I start washing the dishes? Or do you mind if I do this chore?" They'll start speaking to you.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Yeah, but they'll earn it at home. You can't just throw stuff in their lap and then one day you can't afford it because they're going to get bigger. The clothes are going to be more expensive. You can't afford it.
Yeah.
Teach them about doing certain chores in the house that will help. Do certain things in the house that will help. And then you can say, all right, you know what, I'll give you piece of this money. And then you can eventually save up and get your tracksuit. I'll add the second bit on and then we'll go and we'll do that. Teach them about value of money. If you teach them about value of money, the likelihood of them wanting to find a situation where they earn quick money is going to be lesser off. My God. They might avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
They might avoid that. What do you think, Genius? Because I'm rabbiting on. What do you think?
No, you touch on pretty much. I agree with you. Everything that you said you've been spot on. To be honest with you, you know, you've been spot on, and I feel that before get any more deaths, man. I feel that parents, what they need to do now is to be speaking to their children individually. The police are not listening. Yeah, we know that for a fact. Forget Sadiq Khan. He's too busy putting up ULEZ all over the place, so that's not his priority. Yeah, the little event you saw him turn up on there was just all for show. He needed to do that because that situation got a lot of coverage, got a lot of attention, so it would look bad if he didn't show. You had to turn up. It was a good show that he put on. But once again, if this situation is to be tackled and it's going to be dealt with properly, then it's got to be the parents that have to speak to their children to basically tell them to come off the road. And then what they can do to kind of reinforce that is remind them that people are dying out there because they are involved in this endless loop of ops mindset. Yeah, the music. What I don't understand, cause is that these youths, they're making music. Why do they have to always be talking about ops? I don't understand. Imagine you like drill music and you're dancing and then you're reciting the lyrics, but then you're reciting the lyrics of someone that's saying that he's going to kill this ops. Oh, I'm gonna smoke your ops. It just, I don't know, man. Do I think what people need to do is stop buying the music and just kind of just leave that music alone until it dies. That's one way. That's one of the ways I think that can happen. The second way is, I think they mentioned it before, maybe talking about banning drill. I don't know if that will resolve the issue, but the thing is, these guys, they're not talking any sense on these beats. It's just pure kill, murder. That's what I mean.
But you know what, cuz I hear you, yeah, but you know what? I don't get me wrong, I do think drill does have a big influence in it, yeah? Because it's about vibrations and them things there, innit? So that music is an aggressive vibration that will make you feel gassed up and feel like you want to go out there and be on a bad man thing, gang man thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what it will do. Like back in the day, we used to go raving or whatever. You listen to R&B, you want to go and you want to dance with a girl. Do you know what I'm saying? You listen to, I don't know, house music or something, you want to go out there and cut shapes and dance or whatever, if you know what I'm saying. And you listen to certain aggressive hip hop back in the day, then you might want to go out there and be on some Onyx, fling man around and all that kind of thing.
Nah, I
never
had that mindset, man. I listened to a lot of those music, but I was out there trying to role play.
I did still. When I used to go raving, it used to touch me certain ways, but I'm saying it's the vibration of certain music, innit? But I'm saying drill is a different type of vibration. And there is kids out there that are talented with it, but they need to change the message. But I just feel that if you ban drill, the problem might slow down a little bit, but I don't think it's all based off of drill. There's other factors that kids are picking up violence from the handsets. They're seeing videos like mad where people are being violent. They're seeing drive-bys on videos. People are killing people and they're sending them the videos and stuff like that. It's going around. Do you know what I'm saying? that these kids, there's other factors, there's movies, there's games that they're playing. Kids are playing Grand Theft Auto at 10 years old, and Grand Theft Auto is like a 15. Do you get what I'm saying? So that there's other factors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I see it, innit? And you know,
You
like I
think
said,
Grand Theft
Drew would
Auto
be
as
a,
well plays a part? Do you reckon?
huh?
You reckon Grand Theft Auto plays a part?
Yeah, I think a few games would play a part. I can't sit down there and name all the games because I don't really play games like that. But I'm just saying, I think Grand Theft Auto will play a part because I've always said, you know, with Grand Theft Auto, I think when I saw maybe was it part four, I don't know if that's the last one that's come out, or is it five that came out? I
I
don't
think it's
know.
5.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, but I've always said if you watch Grand Theft Auto and you play if you play that game and you follow what the missions are, if you're a youth and you don't know how to drug deal, that game will show you how to be a big drug dealer because of the missions. The missions are basically step by step. Go and do this and take out this person. Go in this
Yeah,
area,
it
take
sounds
out this gang. Pitch this person there. Pitch that person there. Go and drop off this package. Go and do. That's what it's about, isn't it?
yeah, it's true. It sounds similar to there's another game. I can't remember the name of it now. That all the youths are hooked on it. You probably know this game. Forgotten the name of it. It's called
Not Fortnite.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
He played it.
But that was just fighting though, innit? That weren't really a drug dealing thing.
No,
That was
but
like
it's
more
very
fighting.
but I heard people are hooked on it. People don't come off it.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying there's other factors, but I think drill would slow it down a bit because what it is, the problem with drill that I think is not that because, like I said, it's making young people make money. They're becoming musicians and they're becoming, you know, rich, successful from drill music, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a problem with that. I just think when you the capacity that I've worked in where I've been with young people and I see that they wake up in the morning. I'll give you an example. I was at work the other day. I'm not going to give it up because I've got to be careful. Yeah. I was at work the other day supporting one young person, and the young person said to me, like, we was doing an activity, like a cooking activity, and the young person said to me, "Oh, sir, can you play some music?" So I said, "All right, cool." So I put on YouTube and I said to them, "Yeah, like pick tunes in it," and they started playing drill. And I said, "No, that's not that kind of party, man. This is like we're working with you to encourage you to be rehabilitated, not be involved in crime. Like you're on your last legs, mate. Like so we're rehabilitating you. You can't be listening to this music." So I said to him, "Pick something else." He picked something else. It was still drill, but less swearing, but with the same type of message. So I said, "Nah, enough." So I put on the radio, or no, I put on Tupac first. Yeah, and tried to find the Tupac tunes where there's not much swearing. They're a bit more positive. Do you get me? And he was like, "Oh, this music's shit." And no matter what I was putting on, he was saying it's shit. And he said, "Why is it shit?" And he said, "Oh, because, you know, it's not talking about the ends, it's not talking about this." And I said to him, "Is that all you know, bruv?" And he said, "Yeah. That's." And I said, "Bruv, it's a sad life that you only associate music with being good because of how much violence and promotion it's got of killing the next man." So that's a very sad factor, you know. So with him in mind, there's a lot of young people that I've seen that wake up in the morning, put on YouTube and listen to that from early morning right the way through, and it's just pure drill. They don't listen to nothing else, bruv.
That's a problem, yeah. That's a massive problem. And that's why they're the way they are, isn't it?
There you go. And so if that vibration, that frequency is making you behave and feel a certain way, yeah, and you're listening to that right throughout the day, you're gonna go out charged up, bruv. And you're gonna go out paranoid. You're gonna, even if you're a good youth and you listen to that, you're gonna go out thinking, "Well, I might need to carry my Rambo, you know, because there's enough madness going on out here. Every time I listen to this music, they're talking about chinging, man, and all this madness. So I don't want to get chinged. Let me carry something." And I do know of youths that say, "There's so much knives out there, I don't want to get chinged, so I'm carrying a bigger knife." This is why you're seeing the knives getting bigger and bigger, these machetes. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
They're massive, bruv. They're like swords.
Yeah, I see some of them. I see some of them.
What I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. So this is what's out there, cuz. So I just think it's a lot of factors that need to be looked into, that need to be changed, that need to be addressed. I think all the mentors, youth workers, teachers, local politicians, I don't know, street workers, local shop owners in certain areas all need to come and sit down and have a meeting at the round table, discuss what they've seen, what they've experienced. Because even the man that's got the kebab shop, you know, or the woman that's got the cafe, or whatever, is going to have young people coming in there and they're going to tell you of situations that they've had to deal with on a daily basis in comparison to when they were in this trade 15 years ago. They're going to tell you how it's challenging now and they have to manage it a certain way to keep their business running.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
It's true.
Yeah. And if everybody sits down and shares their stories and comes up with their ideas, why don't we do this? Because this is what I experienced. Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And all that gets brought into the dickhead House of Commons and laws are maybe made to, you know, manage those situations, if you get what I'm saying. It might stand a fighting chance, but I think it needs to be managed from a community perspective. Everybody involved that is involved in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because first but foremost, I'm going to say something still. And there's going to be some of these guys listening to this. And I don't want to disrespect them because I know that I've had my nose in certain things when I was a youth. So I know how easy it is to get involved, but I'm going to be real. You lot are out here fighting over postcodes and blocks and estates and roads. Yeah? And you lot are trying to ching up, man, because man's selling drugs on what you deem as your road or your block. And you're running them off. Man can't come round there. And you're selling shots in music at each other and that. While you lot, yeah? Wait, think about this shit first. There's a message for you youths. While you lot are out here fighting over blocks, fighting over roads, and fighting over estates and that, yeah? That you don't own, clearly you do not own, the government ain't doing nothing about it. And the reason why they ain't doing nothing about it is because the more you lot are doing this, you're allowing the world to perceive you as animalistic savages.
Spot on, yeah, definitely.
When they do that, and the world, because it's not just England watching, you know, there's people in America that's putting up reviews of what they've seen on videos in the UK and that, you know, saying, "Raw, UK is crazy," and blah blah blah. When all these people are watching and seeing you do this, and there's no police here managing you lot, your brethren gets stabbed because he was standing on the wrong road, he's dead. No police come and try to find the killers. Don't you realize that the common denominator is when you black youths get murdered, you kids of color get murdered, there's no suspects being brought to the courthouse.
Oh yeah.
No one's been charged. No one's going to jail. So that obviously should show you that police don't care. But let me get back to my point. While you lot are doing this and fighting over blocks and that don't belong to you, all you're doing is slotting yourself into the plan of what the government is trying to achieve. And that is that you lot basically fuck up your area, fuck up your block, fuck up your road enough while they sit there and watch, yeah? When you fuck it up enough, they're gonna fucking go to your parents and tell you lot, all right, mate, time for you lot to move out now. We're giving you a new flat. You lot gonna have to move up north. Yeah? And then little old Kenneton, little old Brixton, little old Streatham, little old wherever it is in London that you lot class as hood and you lot run your blocks is going to get gentrified, yeah? And when it gets gentrified, you're going to find all these rich people living in the area and you can't even step back in that area anymore.
Yeah, facts. It's true.
Yeah? So keep playing up to the government's plan because very soon you won't be living there. And in the process of that, you're either going to be in prison or you're going to be dead. Yeah? But you just allowed them to do what they want to do. That's why they're not helping you, bruv. They're not trying to find who killed your brethren. They're not trying to find who killed your family member or whatever. You lot can sit there and do that. Make this same situation occur in somewhere like Chelsea, Hammersmith and Fulham, them kind of areas there. And I'm going to be real, white youths doing it. You see how quick the police would find the person that murdered the person.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's true. And I hate to use the race card, but that's a fact.
The truth is the truth. I ain't trying to race bait. I'm just saying exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got a problem, want to call me out and say that I'm race baiting, that's up to you. But like I said, I'm not playing no one against nobody. I'm just telling you the facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way that I can sit down here with my hand on my chest and say, when it comes to feminism, when white women are getting attacked by men in society or killed or raped by men in society, feminists turn up. When it's black women, you don't get the same outcome.
Yeah.
I'm just saying how it is.
Yeah, no.
Shoot the messenger if that's what you want to do. You get me? But no one can argue the facts. Yeah? So you youths need to understand that if you are happy to live in the area that you're living in, and you love Brixton, or you love Rare, or you love this area, or you love Shepherd's Bush, or you love blah, 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 you're basically carrying out behaviors that is allowing the government to gentrify your area. So if you want to move out of there, and you want your parents to get shipped out of there and be living up north somewhere like Huddersfield, Halifax, these dead areas, carry on. Because it's going to happen very soon before you know it. And I've seen the process. Yeah? And it will continue to happen. So wise up, sort your shit out. Parents, educate your children. Make your children take accountability for their silly actions from very young. Don't leave it to when they're teenagers and you start doing it. Raise them that way. Meaning, the minute they become 1 year old and they start gobbly and talking, as soon as they understand, you start the process.
Yeah. And
you carry it on. If you make them take accountability from young, you have no problems or very little problems by the time they become teenagers.
Yes,
yeah? So and so this is what we need to do, yeah, to make sure that we conquer these problems. Find out where your youths are. Keep your youths off the road. Put them in activities. Educate them. If there's no dad around, summer holidays, half term, send them for half of those holidays with an uncle, a cousin, a bigger cousin, whoever, even if you got a good friend from work, whatever. Let those people roll with them and show them about real life. Let them be able to, when you're a young boy especially, it's very, very important for you to be able to look up when you're young and you're small and you're looking up at an older man and he's taller than you, he's bigger than you, he's musclier than you, and you're looking at him with admiration like, rah, I want to be like him. And he's taking you everywhere and he's saying, rah, look over there, son, look at all those guys over there. These guys are selling drugs. You don't need to do that. Let me show you this. I'm going to take you here. You should be trying to go to college and doing this and doing that. It sinks in.
Yeah, it does.
Even if it's not straight away, it sinks in. But when you don't pair them up with these uncles and cousins and brothers and that, and there's none of that, there's nothing to sink in, bruv.
Yeah. Fact.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So be real with yourself and start putting pieces of the puzzle in place to make sure your youths take accountability and they're not acting like dickheads and menaces to society on the road.
Nice one, cuz. Beautiful.
Any last messages from you, Genius?
Nah, man, this was you. You really covered everything. You said some very powerful stuff, man, and you know it's gonna help a lot of people. You know, I don't think you realize it's gonna help a lot of people. Stuff you mentioned is, you know, a lot of it is stuff I haven't heard anyone actually say and talk on. People want solutions, and you've listed a load of different solutions. You know, which is it's very powerful. So. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I hope so, cousin. You know what? Even if it's a thing where we have to do another episode on this again, if this stuff continues and we find out more solutions or whatever to help or whatever, not with input from the listeners, whatever, I'm up for it, man. So hopefully this does empower and encourage people to direct their children in the correct way.
Well done, Carl,
You know,
man. Yeah, well done, man. Well
thank
done.
you, man. So let's close up now, man. So you know what? For now, I'm gonna say bye from me, Verbs.
And yeah, bye for myself. Genius done.
Thank you, Genius. Been a pleasure having you. And
Yeah.
listeners, we will see you next week on the next episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast.
Okay.